It's time for a big upgrade on my router table situation in the shop. If you've been watching for a while, you've probably seen me using a portable router table on top of the Outfeed table, and you may have noticed the pile of routers and bits sitting on what is supposed to be my stationary router table. Well, it's time to finally improve on that situation. There's three things I absolutely must have on this one versus the old ones. First, it needs to be a full-size table and fence that's at a normal working table height. No more portable sized tables that aren't big enough to support the project I'm working on. Second, it needs to be easy to use and easy to store away without removing the fence or changing the setup. I generally like to leave a bit like a roundover or a chamfer in the router, all set up and ready to go when I need it. If I build it into the wing of the saw or in the middle of the outfeed like most people do, then I have to set it up and take it down every time just so I can use the table saw. And third, I want it to have a built-in lift so I don't have to reach underneath, unlock the base, and adjust it all by hand. These old Porter cable routers that I use don't have the best fine-tuning system, and it would be great to finally have an easy crank up and down system that I can use from the top of the table. Speaking of the table, I've just finished cutting and gluing up 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood to make the table top, and I'm pulling all the screws out to make sure I don't hit them with a bit while I'm cutting all the holes and grooves for the plate and the track systems. I cut this a bit oversized to start, and now I can square up the long edges on the table saw. I almost inadvertently made a table saw kickback safety video here, but thought better of it and used the track saw to square up the ends. Alright, so everything's nice and square and smooth. Now, before I put the edge banding on, I'm going to go ahead and lay out my hole for the router lift, and we'll get that cut in. I laid out a center line in both directions, and then I set the plate about 3 inches towards the back to allow more working area in front of the bit. I picked up this old school router lift and matching fence system from Amazon. It has all the features I wanted, it's built to work with my router, and the price was actually reasonable. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. I wanted to leave as much wood under the plate as possible for strength, so I laid out this intricate shape that wrapped around the lift mechanism underneath just about perfectly. I used a jigsaw to cut the rough shape out, and then I realized how much extra work my OCD was creating for me just to save maybe about 2 square inches of wood. Yeah, that's when I decided I'd just set the guides up for the pattern bit in a rectangle and cut out the angled corners. I made one pass with the guide blocks and then removed that so I could get down to the full depth. After making sure it would fit, I notched out the back for the thumb screw that locks the router in and moved on to laying out the outside of the plate. I tried everything I could to figure out what the radius was on these corners, and I even dug out my old circle template, but nothing actually matched it. Then I had this brilliant idea. That's right. I looked at the instructions. That's all I needed. I decided to go ahead and cut out a template for the plate on the CNC so I could get a perfect fit on that. While that was running, I realized there's going to be a problem if I cut this out before I added the laminate to the top. The bottom bearing on the pattern bit would be too tall to work here, so I needed to get the laminate on first. I laid everything out and marked the template so I knew I could get it lined up perfectly over the hole once I had it all covered up. For the edge banding, I added some poplar and I just left the corners on the long edge run long so I could round it all off later. I used biscuits to help align everything, and I put the instructions under the plate to keep the edge slightly above the table. I'll come back with the flush trim bit later and get all that flat. I got everything glued up and in the clamps, and I let it set up before I came back to flush trim the edges. That's when things took a turn on me. I guess I wasn't holding the router tight enough to the edge, and, well, I let it rock enough to dig in and basically ruin the whole surface. It's one of those times when I actually try to do something the right way, and it came back to bite me. I usually just put the banding on as close as I can, hit it with the sander, and I know the edge isn't always perfect, so I figured this time I'd try to use the flush trim to get it there. Well, over to the drum sander I go to sand it all down and get rid of the evidence. With that mess cleaned up, I cut the laminate to size and went on to my favorite part. There's just nothing better than contact cement on a nice cold day when you can't open all the doors and windows up to get fresh air. I spread it out as quickly as I possibly could and got it rolled out and let it sit overnight to air things out in there. So while I'm enjoying the smell of contact cement, I just wanted to remind everyone about our Patreon memberships. The community over there is growing fast, and I've been adding more and more content that you can't see anywhere else. If you want to see more behind the scenes updates, early releases of our YouTube videos, and more exclusive content, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check that out. For those that have already joined, your memberships are helping keep the shop running and the content coming, so thank you so much for your support. The next day I trimmed the edges off and got set up to finish cutting the holes in the top. I used the radius jig from Craig to round over the corners, and then I eased the edges off with a chamfer bit. Now, using the measurements I took earlier, I lined up the template and cut out the shelf for the plate to sit in. In the corners, I'm adding these threaded inserts to hold the plate down, so I drilled the pilot holes and screwed those in too. Alright, I'll come back later and adjust all these set screws to bring it up perfectly flat, flush with the top. And yeah, now we need to put some track in for our miter gauge and some T-track to hold the fence down. So 2 more big cuts and then we can start working on getting it mounted up to the table. Marked out all the track and cut it down to size, and then I used the pattern bit and some plywood again to fit everything into the table. Now I can test fit the fence. I ran the slots a little longer than the T-track so that I can install and remove the fence from the middle of the table, since the back will be blocked when it's in the working position. Alright, so this is pretty much where this is going to live. And I've got these folding brackets to mount that on the side, and then the whole thing can fold down out of the way when I'm not using it. So I'm going to put a couple spacer blocks on and then get this mounted up. I used wood glue here with some CA glue just to hold it in place till that dries up. I'll run a longer screw in through the brackets and tie everything into the body of the cabinet. Once I had the bracket screwed in place, I put the table on top and found a new problem to deal with. Alright, so never used these brackets before. I've never had any trouble with the ones I normally use, but I wanted something a little more heavy duty, so went for something rated a little higher. And one side's nice and square, and the other side needs to come up to about there. So see if I can make some kind of adjustment here. I'm not sure. Figure something out. So what I came up with was to just add some tack welds to the end of the brackets and then grind that back down until it matched the other one. A little black paint and we're good to go. Needless to say, I won't be recommending these brackets. With that problem taken care of, I spaced the top off from the outfeed table so the bracket supports could release, and after contorting myself to get the first few screws in, I finally got smart and just brought in the creeper. That was much easier. One last hole to cut here before we wrap things up. I need some clearance for the router to drop into the cabinet, so I mounted it up and marked off the bottom of the motor. After marking out the edges of the rough opening, I decided to just use the same template I used on the plate and stand it up vertically. That made for a nice clean opening with plenty of clearance for the router to drop into. If I ever decide to add an enclosure for dust collection, I'll have to come back and cut the hole bigger, but for now this is going to work perfectly. Now with everything else done, I can level up the plate with the top, mount up the fence, and we'll give everything a test run. It folds down completely out of the way without changing the setup, just like I wanted, and I can already tell that I'm gonna love using this lift setup over the basic plates in the other tables. All right, well there it is, and I can already tell that this thing is going to be a huge improvement over the portable model that I've been using up on the Outfeed table, or even the old cabinet model that's basically just become a place to pile junk up. I do need to come up with some storage for the fence and all the accessories on this thing, and a more permanent power solution, but we'll get into that on the next installment of the Outfeed table, and I'll take the top off of that, we'll make some storage on the inside, and get that finished up. If you haven't seen the beginning of this whole project, I'll leave a link up here, as well as a link to some of our other woodworking projects. You can check that out. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.